Inside the Man Cave with Johnny Compian.
Oh, yeah. Hey, put your finger in my fun hole. It's beautiful.
Graphic language will be used throughout this show.
Now we ready to roll.
Inside the Man Cave with Johnny Compian.
Game over, bitches.
Inside the Man Cave podcast show. Follow me on Twitter at Johnny Compian. I want to start off today, or tonight, because I only come out at night. It's too freaking hot. I'm a vampire right now. I live at night. So hopefully I can give you a couple of minutes of entertainment to get you through this heat. If you're in South Texas, it's killing us down here, man. It's brutal. But I want to start off with a little news I got about this show. I started out with 4 subscribers a couple years ago when I started this channel. So I've been at 4 for a few years. I never paid attention. I'm not about, trying to like buy listeners or viewers. Or listen to some of my opinions about some of the big topics that are going on around us in the music world, in the sports world. Basically anything that's going on, I'm going to try to throw it out to you. So anyway, I'm going to start off with thanking some of my new subscribers. Welcome into the Man Cave podcast show. I'm up to 15, guys. 15. In an earlier podcast, I think last week, I put it out there and I said, hey, you know what? If I can get 10 subscribers by December, I would do something. I don't know. I don't know what I promised. I'll go back and listen. And if I put a bet up, I will fess up to it. But, man, I appreciate it. It might not seem nothing to you guys. Like 15 subscribers, oh, God, that's nothing. The way I started this thing was out of nothing. One day I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to really put 100% into podcasting. Since I've been in the business for a few years of podcasting, producing podcast shows, so why not jump on and do my own, right? So that's what that whole idea started, to start this adventure. And I'm saying it's an adventure because it gets kind of crazy, because you start your adrenaline going, once you start thinking about topics and the way you want to come out and talk about the show or things that you want to bring up, you kind of, you want to have something kind of off the wall and, a different angle to what you're hearing out there, just to keep people engaged a little. But, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys subscribing, getting a lot of love and traffic on my YouTube page. Keep that up. Follow me at Johnny Compian on Twitter. Link up my name on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends. Okay, now I'm pitching, right? Now I'm pitching. Yeah, follow me. I learned today because I wanted to go out and do something live. I'm like, I'm going to go out and record something. And I couldn't do that with YouTube because I don't have 50 subscribers yet. So you have to have 50 subscribers. I'm far from it. So maybe in a couple years I'll be able to go live, out when I'm out and about, if I see something. But I can do it on my phone. Either way, just record and upload it to you guys. But, man, it's such a cool thing. Makes me happy inside that you guys are kind of enjoying this. Even though I told you guys from the beginning, the people that have been there from the beginning, I'm not a pro at this, man. I was a guy that was in radio for years and was just behind the scenes and just had a good time doing it. Had fun doing it, worked with a lot of great people. So it's been part of my life. So now I want to share some of my experiences and talk about some of the topics that come across my radar in the music business, local, national, because music is a huge part. I had a couple guys email me or DM me on Twitter, and this guy, he was pretty cool. He's a listener. He's been listening to some of my work on the professional podcast side of the business, and he just had lots of praises. It was really cool to hear. He wanted some playlists because I do play a lot of music and I love it. It's my passion. So I'm going to share some of that with him. I'm going to send him a playlist and share that. So those kind of things I'll do. If you follow me on Twitter and you send me a suggestion about a topic, or if you don't agree on something, I'll answer and I'll try to get it on. And, get you guys on to kind of explain yourself. Or if, you're just bored, you want to kill some time somewhere, this is the place to do it, right? I don't mind. I'm just hanging out, having a couple of beers, looking at this sports mix with a bunch like bull riding and the Lakers game, NFL, some baseball highlights, I guess some wrestling. Yeah. Who cares? Anyway, I'm not here to do that, watch TV. And it's crazy because I haven't been watching TV that much. I just kind of been turning it off. Normally, I'm watching the news, national news, and following a couple other shows on the sports side. Just like to listen to other opinions on the East Coast, the West Coast, national media. Because NFL is coming up. The NFL is back. The training camps are open all over the United States, and it's a beautiful thing to hear. It's music to my ears. It's great to see that because being a former huge Cowboy fan, I was always looking forward to the Dallas Cowboys training camp because I was able to attend a few in Oxnard and here in San Antonio. But it was always better to go to Oxnard because you're in the West Coast, and it was just fun. We'd fly into Burbank and then kind of go all the way up to Calabasas and make our local stops that we always wanted. When you go there a couple times, you're like, okay, let's stop here, let's eat here, let's do that, let's pick up some food, go to the room, go hang out, get ready for the broadcast and what you're doing out there, your job, your assignments. So it was cool to see that, you watch that and it gets excited, your juices flowing for NFL football. And you're seeing it, you're seeing it all over, the media and on TV, which is cool. There's been a lot of movement with contract signing. And so, it's just, like I said, it's getting the juices flowing. Kyler Murray got his paycheck. I don't even know how many. It just makes me sick to hear it. But they earn it, man. Those guys work hard. They play hard. Their bodies go through so much. They earn that. But they love the game. Overall, they love the game. So it's exciting to bring up NFL football and talk about the Cowboys, the Texans, the Saints. Oh, God. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is back in the news. Oh, again? I mean, he was doing Jeopardy a while back, and I really dug that. I really dug the fact that he was able to go up there and – because that's one of my shows. I love Jeopardy. But, watching Trebek and, rest in peace, So when you saw Aaron Rodgers he was trying out, or I don't know what the storyline was on there, but it was great to watch Aaron Rodgers. He was good. I was like, this guy has a chance. He has an opportunity to change up in his career and go or do both. Who knows? Who knows? It was great. It was great to see that. But there's a viral video going on, and check it out. A good friend like Aaron Rodgers, and get him on and kind of pick his brain about the game, life, and just everything. But he's a jokester, and I'm sure that Nicolas Cage is getting a little laugh about it. Con Air. It was awesome. It was so cool. I was like, man, this is what I'm ready for. I'm ready for the football season to start. I'm ready for all the antics and the trash talking, with your friends. And so it's exciting. The Dallas Cowboys are out in Oxnard right now. They arrived in Oxnard. Jerry's out there doing his thing. We'll play a lot of Jerry, because he said so many things about winning a championship. And you hear that every single year when they open up that mic to Jerry.
Well, the secret sauce, the genie, whatever you want to call it. That's why we're here, to be trite. We're trying to find the secret sauce to get us another one. And it's it's certainly the most challenging thing that I've ever been involved in. And have been involved in a lot of things, but putting it together so that we can get a team to win the Super Bowl has been real challenging, I admit it. And it's given me that much more resolve to get it done. But I don't know about the secret sauce. I've had a lot of sauce, too. Hey, as a matter of fact, I've had several people recommend when you don't get in the Super Bowl, what you do is drink a lot.
Romo was a miracle.
It was a miracle.
State of the Cowboys. Jerry, I want to win a championship. I want it this year. Yeah, Jerry. We know you want it this year. Not going to happen, man. Sorry, Jerry. Just because you got that star on your helmet doesn't mean anything. You're just going to hand it to you. But we'll see. Personally, Zeke Elliott, I think this is it. This is your make or break year. You have not done anything for this team. I can't believe Emmett hasn't paid him a visit. Emmett should have already been there and paid a visit to Ezekiel Elliott and said, hey, come hang out with me. Because if 88, Michael Irvin, the playmaker, on the receiver side, CeeDee Lamb is dealing with something and he's just not feeling it. The playmaker would come in. He didn't need the cameras to come up. He would just show up and put CD and say, hey, look, let's sit down and talk. Where's your mind at? We need, in Dallas, we want to win. We want another champion. We need to get Jerry another championship before Jerry moves on.
I need to win it. I need to win it. But I'll be candid with you. There's degrees. I want to be fair to everybody concerned. We need to be in the playoffs. We need to be viable in the playoffs to be a successful season.
It's not going to be this year, Jerry. Not this year, Jerry. It's the same thing. It's the same thing every year. There's a couple of highlights. I'll play a couple of highlights from the arrival of the Dallas Cowboys in Oxnard, California.
The NFL season is around the corner and the Dallas Cowboys have officially arrived in Oxnard for training camp. Offensive guard Zach Martin says this month will be big for the Cowboys.
we still are finding our identity as a team. Obviously, every year is different, so this next month out here is going to be big for us to find that identity.
Well, I'm sure, what was it today? It probably was like 76. It's beautiful. Mountains. Well, I think they built condos and stuff around it. So when I was going, there was a golf course. There was no condos. It was just wide open space, man. 2 fields. There were hotels. They would just walk back to the room. San Antonio, when they did it in San Antonio, when they did training camp in San Antonio, they hated that. They hated practicing in the dome. It's indoors. They didn't like all the crickets. That's one thing that they talked about. They're like, too many crickets, man, all over the place. Shit. Why in the hell is Wolf not cleaning that stuff up? Clean it up, Nelson. The mayor. Before you bring the XFL in, clean those crickets out in there, man. Get some new popcorn. Change out those beer tabs. Open it up. Let's bring some chainsaws. Let's cut the top off the Alamo Dome. Let's cut the top off the Alamo Dome. Let's do it before Motley gets here because, man, I've seen a lot of highlights and video on YouTube. And they're playing these baseball stadiums, and it just looks beautiful, man. It's so cool to see. And I'm really envious because when they're making their way to Texas. They're on a 2-week break right now, Motley Crue, on the stadium tour. And they're ramping up for the second leg. So they all flew home, took a break. They're old, man. These guys are up there in age, so they need a little break. I mean, if you noticed, if you've been watching and following all the activities, because I have, I'm a freak like that. If you've been following all the activities of the stadium tour, these guys, they ramp it up. At Tommy Lee, before this started, before we knew about the ribs and all that stuff, he has a tour bus parked in. Hey, the tour bus is on IG, and he's like, check it out. I'm getting my tour bus loaded, golf cart, all loaded. So, whoa, that must be fun. That must be fun, man. I'm envious. I love what those guys do. And it made me think of, because today I was on IG. Speaking of IG, Instagram, I ran across a post from one of the people I follow. I think they're some artist. I don't know the name right off the back, but they had this picture, and they had a question in it. It said, if you could tour with one band for a week, what band would that be? What a great question, right? Who would you want to tour with for a week? Go on the road, hang out, do sound check, eat dinner, go out. If you could, if you're that big, you can't go out without an entourage. Or you could be in another band where you're really incognito and you're like, cool, I can flow into town, come in, go hang out at my favorite spots, and then make it back for sound check, get some rest, prepare, do the show, next city. That's a good question. Who would it be for a week? I brought it up, what I was talking about earlier about bringing up Motley Crue. I would love to do that, but it just seems like I've met Nikki Sixx before a few years ago when he was with 6 a.m. And he was like, I don't know. It's all business, man, for these guys. They're like, hurry up, let's do a meet and greet and we're moving forward. And I always try to get at the end of the line because I'm like, okay, I want to just kind of just pick your brain at a couple things because, you follow these guys and these bands for years. Some of you, not everybody, but I do because that's what I like to do, So they live interesting lives. But I don't know if I'd want to be around Motley Crue 24/7 for a week. They just seem like they go their separate ways with their families, and they move on because I was reading that they were like on a COVID protocol. I'm not too sure about that, but I think it was like the Stones. The Rolling Stone did the same thing. They didn't want anybody around them, no friends or family. They were just like, hey, we're coming in to do a show and we're getting out. Nobody get near us. Don't cough on me. Stay back. So I don't know. It would be maybe in the early years, maybe in the late 90s. Yeah, that would have been a cool time to hang out with Motley Crue for a week. Not now. And that Metallica would be the same way. You wouldn't want to hang with Metallica. They're all like, no, don't come around me. I got to go drink some green tea and I got to meditate and then I got to catch my car and then I'm getting my private plane and I'm going home. Bye. Interesting question. Tweet at me at Johnny Compian. Let me know who you would like to spend a week with. One of your favorite bands of all time or just somebody interesting that you see. And you were like, yeah, you know what? Those guys look like fun. I want to go spend some time with them. Right? There's a lot of bands to pick from. And a lot of guys that live some interesting lives. Like you see Machine Gun Kelly. When he does his, there was some stuff that was going on that I was watching on Instagram. And the guy loves to do his shots, and he's like smoking, hanging out with his guys before they go on stage. They're all kind of hyped, and it's cool. See, those guys are like, we don't care. They got the hot chicks around them. They're like, we're going to fucking party. We're going to go and kick some ass, and then we're going to party some more, and then we're going to finish the show and party some more, and party more. So why not, right? I mean, he just looks like he is like, dude, he's like Post Malone. Same thing. Post Malone is a rock star. He is a rock star. I dig Post Malone. At first, I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting the Post Malone thing. And then I listened to some of the music, and I was like, whoa, this guy is talent. He's very talented. Actually, I bought a couple of vinyls, picked them up, and just really cool, really skilled. If you guys get a chance, look up on YouTube. He does a Nirvana tribute. I think with Travis Barker. Really cool. Does a great job. And there was also like a Bud Light special that came on. Look that up with Post Malone. That's pretty cool to watch. So, yeah, who would you guys spend a week with? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. That's I don't know. Slayer's gone. Ozzy wouldn't be fun. I've hung out with Ozzy before, but I didn't spend a week with him. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back on that one with you guys because I don't. That's a great one. I don't know who I would who I would like to spend a week with. That's a good question. Speaking of music, concerts, something that came across my radar was the boss, Bruce Springsteen. It was cool because a friend of mine went back and forth a little bit. He brought up the fact, that Bruce Springsteen wasn't stopping in San Antonio and he was going to Austin. It's like, dude, aren't you used to that? That happens all the time. It happens all the time. There's no place that they rather pass up than San Antonio. They'd rather go to Laredo than San Antonio. That's a fact. That's a fact right there for you guys. Yeah. So, yeah, Austin gets all the cool shows. So you have to travel up. It's not that far of a drive, to watch some good shows. But what got me is some people were outraged at Ticketmaster because the tickets for Bruce Springsteen were like $5,000. $5,000. You know what? I'm not surprised. But I understand people being outraged, especially right now. in the situation, our financial situation that this country's in, and people are still able to sustain, a good amount of, money to go out and have a night out, because this is not the $5,000 for the ticket, right? And Ticketmaster came back, and I kind of just glanced through the article, and chime back at me at Johnny Compian, tweet at me or send me a DM. Let me know what you guys think about this, because this is crazy. And now I'm not pooping on the system they have, but you know what? If it's a business, I understand. And it's hard to get tickets. It's hard to get concert tickets. I was trying to go to a show about a month ago. And to get in, it was $300 just to get on the floor, just to stand on the floor. You don't get a chair. You're just standing up. $300. That's crazy. That's crazy. You got to pay $20 to park, have a couple drinks, another $75, something to eat, $100. That's an expensive night out. I understand the business side. Ticketmaster came out and said, we have to do this because, you got these resellers and all this BS. No wonder Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam, they went at it with Ticketmaster. I'm all for it. Yeah, that's kind of BS. I mean, we're buying the merch. We're buying the music, the vinyls. Vinyls are expensive. Everything is crazy. The prices are just outrageous. Then you're going to hit us with 5G to come see you? Dude, I remember going to concerts at the Hemisphere. $13.50, man. You'd go to Sears ticket office. You go to the Sears ticket box office and you get you a ticket to see Dio or AC/DC. Just Motley Crue. Now to see, it's almost the same as Bruce. $1,000 and up, man. If you want to sit close up, you're paying more than a G. And you're not that close. If you want to get really close, you're going to pay about $3,000 or $4,000. That's too much. Just for a few hours in it. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I've seen these shows. I've seen these bands multiple times. I've never seen The Boss live. I'd love to, but I'm not paying $5,000 to see The Boss. I'd rather just pop on some music, listen to that, have some wine and some beer, and go about my day. And save the $5,000, right? Live to fight another day, man. Instead of just going up, there's people that have that kind of money at their disposal. I don't. That's crazy. I love the music. I support it. I buy the merch. I mean, you name it. You buy the wine, whatever they sell, whatever they put their name on. If you really love the musicians and the band, you support them 100%, you are going to you're going to max your cards out and spend every cent you have on merch, on vinyl, on meet and greet passes, all the above, man. And I'm not hating on you. I would do it. But I hate to say this. But when you've seen the bands once, twice, 3 times, all of a sudden they're hitting you up, dude. It's $450 to come in, man, tonight. $450. All right, here you go. It's outrageous. It is outrageous. I'm sure that I'm going to get some flack for this. And yeah, don't attend. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm not. but it's crazy. I've brought this up before. Some of the bands, that you've followed, if you've been there and you followed, certain bands for a few years, you buy the albums, you buy the cassettes multiple times on different formats. You're spending a lot of money on these bands and shirts every time you go see those bands. Now the shirts are crazy. Remember going to a Kiss show and they went at $50 a shirt and up. That was just a standard shirt, man. But if you wanted the cool limited edition shirt with whatever Gene Simmons face, it's going to cost you $75, $80. There's different tiers, and people will buy it up. It's a business. But at the end of the day, you as the fan, the consumer, right now, how are you sustaining that? It's crazy. Yeah, you do need to. That's outrageous for Ticketmaster to do that. And then today I get an email saying, "Hey, you get 4 tickets for $81." They're trying to counteract, and because they're in the spotlight right now, because fans are bringing that up, like 5,000. I mean, come on, how much of that percentage does Bruce really get, and his bandmates? $5,000 a ticket for one, and then all the service tax. Oh man, maybe almost about 7,000. That's crazy. I love the music. I know I've talked about, wanting to see that residency in Las Vegas when U2 plays in 2023. But I got a feeling the tickets are going to, because that place is limited. It's going to be, intimate. It's an intimate setting. The best sound system in the world. It costs over $1 billion to make this thing. So you're going to get the riches of the rich that are U2 fans are like, no, I want to be in the front. I will pay. You know what? Get out of my way. Go sit up there in the $15,000 seats, because these down here are mine. Me and my friends. That's why I have a bad feeling I'm not going to be able to see U2 in Vegas. That makes me sad. But anyway, yeah, that ran across my radar today. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, because I'm like, where have the days of the reasonable concert ticket, where's that day gone? It's gone. Just like everything else, right, that we're dealing with. I don't want to bum you out, bring you down, but it's something to think about. Like I said, there's people that can and are doing it, and more power to you, man. But us people down here, it's hard for us to do that stuff. So whatever you're doing, Ticketmaster, make sure you don't forget about us, okay? Because we've been there, man. We bought tickets for years, so don't kind of put us out, man, and not be able to get to go see our favorite artist. Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne has released another single off his new album. I heard some of it on XM earlier when I was preparing to do this podcast. It sounds pretty cool. I don't know the name right off the top of my back. It's a new song. They just premiered it. Really catchy, the great harmonies, but the way it starts out, it reminded me of a Black Sabbath old school song. Really cool. It was Ozzy, the guitar player. I mean, he's had so many great people come in, because Ozzy has a great group of friends around him that when he picks up the phone, they'll answer it and be like, "Hey, Oz, man, what can I do for you?" And he was talking to the host on the Ozzy XM channel, Ozzy's Boneyard. And he, the host, I think his name's Billy something. Anyway. Yeah, so I see that, and then so I start listening, and Ozzy sounds like he's so bummed. Like, dude, you're going on the road, and I can't go. He's recovering still. He had that neck surgery again, and hopefully Oz will be back on his feet. But, just sitting there listening to him, he's trying so hard. Ozzy is trying his best, man. The guy is, he's Ozzy, man. I just don't. The way he sounded, it was updated. It was updated today. He just didn't sound good. He sounded like he was just tired, and he's kind of just rambling. I couldn't make out. Normally, I could make out whatever Ozzy's talking about. I can kind of, okay, Ozzy's talking about this. I get it. I know where he's going, but I couldn't follow him. It's like, whoa, get him off. Get him off the radio. Play his single. It's his channel on XM, but yeah, it's his channel. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the Oz man. It just didn't come across well. I hate to say that. I hate to say that because I'm a huge Ozzy fan. And the single sounded great. It's just hard to hear. For me, it's hard to hear Ozzy like that. But I'm still hoping and wishing that we can see Ozzy back on the road next year or the following year. It's awesome to see Ozzy. He puts on a great show. Because when everything kicks on and they get everything ready for Ozzy and say, okay, Ozzy, it's time for you to go on, do your thing. Man, he turns it on, and he's a natural at it. He's been doing it so long. With Black Sabbath, his solo stuff. And he's played with a lot of great guitar players. And that's what the host brought up. It's like, man, you've played with some great guys. He's got Tony Iommi, Zakk Wylde, Jakey Lee, Randy Rhoads, on and on. The list just goes on and on. So it's great to hear the new Ozzy music. I'm going to try to play a little snippet here for you. Always sounds good, in key, great melodies, and that harmonica just makes it, man. It makes it. It's Ozzy, vintage Ozzy to me. I can't wait to hear the whole album, because that's what I'm doing nowadays. Normally they send you, when you purchase a pre-order, they send you the, you can get a download. I'm like, no, I'm going to wait. Unless I really want to hear something, I will say, I can't. I've been waiting too long. I'm ready. I want to listen to it right now. And I'll do that. But I'm sure the new Ozzy, the two tracks that I've heard are great, solid. I can't wait to hear more. And also this morning, I woke up and on Twitter, I saw Queensryche, Michael Wilton tweeting out, Facebook. He's always on Facebook promoting Queensryche. They're getting ready to come out with their album in October, yeah. So I heard the first single off that, and then I've talked about that. How it reminded me of Silent Lucidity, not that powerful, but it reminded me of when I first heard Empire and I heard Silent Lucidity. It's a deep song in this new album, but the new song I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit outside and listen to this. And I felt the first couple minutes, maybe like 3 minutes. And then I was like, all right, you're back at the same place you were last album. And that's what that band is missing. I'm a huge Queensryche fan. Always have been, always will be. But you change up the heart when you take out, Scott Rockenfield and Eddie Jackson, just that chemistry. I mean, how could you break that up? There's no, I don't even know who the drummer, I don't even know the drummer's name for Queensryche. I mean, he's doing the job. And I'm not bashing the guy. He's just filling the job. He's a hired hand. He's trying to get it done. Those are some big shoes to fill. I get it. It's not the same. They've come out with the last couple albums, Queensryche, and they've had a hit or two that I think personally, because I can go through an album and I'll either skip. I was like, I don't like this. I'll move on. You know what? Okay, I'm still listening. All right, I'm gonna save it. I'll go back. If I play it again, and I play it again, and I play it again, like, man, I got to hear that again. And then I've already listened to it 25 times because I'm weird like that. If I like something, I'm gonna keep hitting it, man. Even if I'm traveling, there's been times where I've been on the road driving, up north, and it's like if I'm feeling a song, or if I wake up, thinking of something, an idea that a project that I want to do, where we'll start getting together, and I start hearing something in my head, I would just keep it on repeat. Keep whatever. It doesn't even have to do anything with the project or anything. It's just the music, the way it makes me feel at the moment. I can wear a song out, man, like 50, 75 times in a row. That is crazy, right? That's crazy, but that's how much I love the music. I don't care if it's rap, pop, classical. I don't care. If I like it, I'll put it on repeat, man. I'll put it on repeat and won't be ashamed to tell you about it. Yeah, I heard that song 65 times. Really? Yeah. You like it that much? Nah. I was just feeling it that day. But that's me. That's how much I appreciate music. I follow it. So when somebody makes a comment around you about a song, you guys are hanging out and they bring in, and you can't help yourself. You cannot help yourself and have an opinion, right? About, hey, well, remember how they did it this way? Or remember the original recording? And they're kind of looking like, dude, I just like this song. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm one of those guys that will always interrupt, jump in, and start bringing some factoids to the table so we can all talk, keep the discussion going. So I probably wouldn't be fun at your party. So don't try to invite me. I never get invited anywhere anymore. So it's funny because people sometimes they just want to hang out and they just kind of want to just chill, and they don't want to, they've been working or whatever, or just doing whatever, and you're like, you want to talk about certain things. And that's me. So don't invite me to your house, or if I'm at the store or somewhere and you strike up a conversation, man. I dig it. I dig talking. I love it. You have to, listen to other people. I love listening to people's stories. I love to hear about experiences, cool things that people have gone through. I love to hear your opinion on sports teams. And sometimes I like hearing, some of the political stuff, but not too much, because then it just gets deep and, it's just crazy. So yeah, I dig all that. So that's why I have this podcast. So I can do all that stuff, and you can kind of go in and watch the podcast or listen to it on Spotify at Inside the ManCave podcast show. You can watch it, subscribe on YouTube. And I'm up, up to 12 subscribers, y'all. That's great, man. I'm happy. I'm very happy. You're probably laughing at me going, you're a loser. You got 12 and you got like 10,000. Like, I just want to get to 50 now. I know I was going to ask for more, but I want to get to 50 so I can, go live wherever I want, because they won't let me do it on my phone. If I want to go live on my phone, I have to have over 50 followers. I don't have that. So maybe in a couple years, I'll be able to go live on YouTube on my phone. But anyway, yeah. So I put a lot of things out there. I want to go back real quick to the Dallas Cowboys and training camp, because, I ran a couple of clips. And there was a deal that one of the reporters asked Jerry Jones about. He asked Jerry about the accident he was in like 2 months ago. And Jerry just made it clear, like, hey, you know what? I just want to make it clear. I wasn't doing anything. As if it's funny. Just check this out. Been around you, but never interviewed you. I appreciate the time. And just a couple of minutes. I know they told me that you got like maybe 3 minutes with me, and that's all I can take. I mean, that I appreciate your time. So, Jerry, talk a little bit about the draft.
When we're in the offensive line,
hey, Jerry, can you hear me? Jerry, can you hear me?
There's not a... Well, just shut up and let me answer.
Hello, Jerry. Are you still there, Jerry? Hello. Jerry, it's like when you hooked up with a hot chick, right? You hooked up with a hot ass chick, and then you see her down the line. She's like, you're like, hey, remember? She's like, no, go away. That's what I feel that Jerry's doing when he was asked about it. We were actually conducting an interview. I had the biggest opportunity I have on this podcast to interview Jerry Jones. And then he disses me. Oh, I wasn't doing anything. I was not. He was just kind of just shooting it down. If you heard this, or that I was on the phone doing an interview, no, that's not true.
No.
Jerry.
No.
Come on, Jerry. Remember me, Jerry?
No.
It's so disappointing. See, that was it. There's the evidence. Jerry, we had a connection, man. I was asking you stuff and you were yelling at me. And then you got all like just frazzled, and then something happened. I just heard everything and everything just cut off. You were gone. So that was a bad day for Jerry. And then that was the end. That was just like my 15 seconds of fame there. But anyway, it's good to hear that we have the training camps open. So that means we're getting ready. They'll come out and they'll kind of put their shorts on, and not even pads. They'll come out and kind of move around, push each other. They'll push each other around, and just be all just dressed up to the nines, and their workout clothes with the latest Dallas Cowboy gear that you can get at DallasCowboys.com. And Jerry will have all the new gear, and everybody. Stephen Jones, everybody will have the latest gear, and you'll be able to buy it. And then maybe the next day, they'll come out, they'll put on, the pads, hit each other a little bit, and it'll be nice because it's not that brutal. Doing what you're doing in Oxnard, can you imagine them doing that here? Dude, there'd be IVs going around everywhere. It is brutal here. I mean, you go out for a couple minutes and it's like, okay, I'm going back in. close all the shades, everything. It's like it's horrible what you're seeing on the news. You're seeing up north in Dallas, there's houses that are burning up because of this heat. It's bad. It's bad. It's not good. So if you're in this region, make sure that you check on your loved ones, your elderly loved ones, friends that are in need. Check on everybody, man, because, it's not a good time right now. So make sure you guys do that. But like I was talking about, the Dallas Cowboys are back. What is Dak Prescott going to bring? How is he looking? I can't wait to see some video of them. What they're not going to touch him. Nobody's going to touch Dak. So I want to see how CeeDee Lamb, with that receiving core has changed. There's been some changes, and even the backup for Ezekiel Elliott, there's been changes. A lot of changes have been, moving around, and so it's going to be interesting. On the defensive side, that's something to watch. It's going to be good. Always good to watch that in practice because you got the new guys. You got who out there back there, ready to light you up, and that's when the fights. And then when they bring in the scrimmages, it's awesome. I remember them bringing in the Raiders when I was there, working out with the Raiders. I think with the 49ers as well. And they start hitting and fighting. It's awesome. It's freaking entertainment. You're like right there, like you're right there in the trenches, just listening to all this trash talk and just the collisions. And yeah, it's very exciting, to be out there in the morning, watching morning practice. And what was cool for me personally is when you're there, you got that credential to be on the sideline covering it. And you see a fabulous play. When Romo was there, that's when I was able to go to training camp. So you were out there, and you would have Dez, and there would be a lot of action going on, a lot of action, a lot of trash talking. It was so cool to be, there because what I enjoyed was you hear all the trash talking, and you're like, wow, listen to that shit, listen to that. I mean, they are just fucking going at it. And it reminds me, if you played football at any level and you're competing, right? You're competing and you're not going to bow down to anybody. The new kid on the block comes in and you're like, I'm not having that, dude. I'm feeling good. We got a new season coming up. Get out of my fucking way. And then you're just flapping at each other. And you're going, even these big linemen, just going at it. It's insane. It's something that you, when you go in there, you're like, wow, I can't believe this is better than watching. I'm going to say this, but this is better than watching some of the training that I've seen. It's like watching actual football, through TV, watching it right there on the sideline when they're going at it and talking. I love that. Speaking of that, the XFL is coming to San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. We are all excited to have the XFL back. We're happy that, how do I want to word this? I'm happy that The Rock selected San Antonio and gave us that opportunity to shine, because I think that our city can do it. I haven't checked on the ticket sales, because I know you could go out and buy, you pre-sale tickets. You can reserve your tickets. So, you can reserve your tickets, your season ticket passes, and I'm sure they're coming with all that stuff and the merch and the store and everything. So get ready. I mean, get ready. And you won't have to pay $5,000 like you do for a Bruce Springsteen concert. You can just listen to Bruce while you're at the game for $25, maybe $50. Who knows? Who knows what the prices are going to be? That's going to be another thing because people are ready to tailgate. San Antonio's really picked that up. You know, for UTSA, when the Saints were here and you had NFL football, it was great to be a part of the tailgate segment of that because it was like, hey, you know, doing that where you hang out and you go out with your friends. And I'm sure a lot of you have because we love football. And you do this thing. We're going to do a road trip. We're going up to Dallas early. We're going to get some tacos and we're going to get some beers, some clamatos, and some Bloody Marys and keep the party going. We've been partying on. We're going to watch the Cowboys play the Cardinals. And so you're hyped up. You got your jersey on, and which I don't condone you wearing a jersey now. But it's if you're under like 15, you're cool. But yeah, you got to give that up. Matter of fact, I have a bunch of jerseys. I just need to look for some good fans to hand them off to. I got some nice jerseys that I've collected throughout the years, and I'm not a fan of that team anymore. I hate to say that. Because I was talking about the Dallas Cowboys. That was my team. Now I'm a Las Vegas Raider fan. I just love it because of the uniforms. I've been a closet Los Angeles. Well, yeah, I was an LA Raider, Oakland Raider fan. I have the little helmets and all that. I loved it. I love the Raiders. I love their edginess. And a few years ago, I was kind of just kind of eyeing them and going, okay, is it time to make the move? No, not yet. Not yet. Jerry says we're going to win the Super Bowl. Jerry says we're winning the Super Bowl, so I got to stick around just in case, because you don't want to jump to the Raiders, right, or whichever team you like, and then you leave, and then the Cowboys end up winning. So if Jerry promised at training camp, either Oxnard or wherever you always like, okay, Jerry, I believe you, man. You know what I'm going to go to Academy. I'm going to buy my shirt and my jersey and I'm going to buy everything, dude. I'm going to buy stuff for my grill. Dude, I'm buying everything, the flags. I mean, Jerry, you can count on me, dude. Don't worry. I'm going to spend all of my money that I've earned this week on cowboy gear. So don't worry, Jerry. We're going to have your second yacht. You'll have one for one region. You'll have another one for another one. So when you go to Spain or whatever, you can have your other yacht. The Cowboys yacht. Wouldn't that be something to go on that and see what it's all about? I don't think the last time I heard anything about that was that, Jerry they would bring his phone. These young ladies would bring a phone like a Hugh Hefner style. That's what it kind of reminded. When I heard that, I was like, dude, no, Jerry, don't turn into Hugh Hefner, man. In his secret life. Oh, you know what? I got a mansion over here. I bought the guys from Pantera. I bought their houses. We're having parties over there still. Oh, that would be funny. That would be hilarious. I'm joking. But it's great that we're going to start talking a lot of NFL football. And there'll be a lot more stuff we're going to talk about on the music side because, there's a lot of news coming out. I heard this new band. It was George Lynch from Dokken. And I've talked about George Lynch because I'm a huge Lynch Mob fan. I don't know about you guys. You old schoolers. Do you guys like Lynch Mob? And the other people are like, who in the fuck is Lynch Mob? Lynch Mob was a project. I mean, it was a great project. Anyway, George Lynch is back with a bunch of youngsters and a veteran at the helm. I wish I can play some music for you because it's really good. I'll link it up to my Twitter page. How about that? I'll link it up to my Twitter page, and you guys can listen and judge for yourself. Send me a message and let me know what you think of this new project that George Lynch that he has. There was some video going on that Eddie Trunk from Trunk Nation put out there when he was hosting a private event here in Austin. And George Lynch was on stage with the guys from the Lynch Mob, and this was a couple weeks ago. They sounded freaking amazing. The singer was right on key. The music was there. George Lynch was having a great time. It's good to hear. It's good to hear that George Lynch is still having a good time doing this. You know, these bands that'll come out, you see a lot of these bands kind of link up, like LA Guns, Faster Pussycat. They link up and come to your town. Man, there's a lot of guys that are coming in, and they're coming in wounded, man. They've been road warriors, and they partied. There's one guy that I'm going to bring up. A huge fan of this guy. Tammy Downs is lead singer of Faster Pussycat. One of my favorites. I love his whole thing, man. The thing is, he's friends with Ricky Rackman, who was the Headbangers Ball head. He was the host. We all watched that. If you were in that generation, that's what we would do. We would go out and party, come in late, and you would watch Headbangers Ball. So, Tammy Downs, I love that guy. He rides motorcycles. I just love the whole thing, man. He's a fucking rock star, right? But he was partying freaking hard. Like the guy, I remember I was covering a rock show in Houston. It was like a Memorial Day party. They had a bunch of bands. I got a bunch of pictures. I should post those up on my Twitter page so you guys can check them out. They're old school. Yngwie Malmsteen. There was Warrant with Jamie Lane actually was singing at the time. You had Sammy Hagar. You had Queensryche with Jeff Tate. Who else? They had Rat. Enough's Enough. Faster Pussycat. They had a couple of stages. And it was a big party in Houston. So I was able to cover that. So we would go. I had my buddy with me, Adam, if you've heard on this podcast. Shout out to my boy Adam. And so he was there. It was crazy because I wanted to talk to Tammy Downs because we had that pass where you can kind of chat with the artist a little bit. And so he was coming off stage, and I'm like, "Hey, Tammy, what's up?" And he's like, "What's up?" And you can tell he was just like fucking just lit. It was mid-afternoon, and he's like, I start talking. He's like, he's just like all confused, and it's like, he just like, dude, I want to go party some more. I don't want to talk to you. And that was cool. I'm like, but I just noticed he was like fucked up. Like, all right, cool. And then it turns out that he was having some major problems. The guy would smoke a lot of cigarettes, and he'd get on stage, and he would light them up, just keep lighting them up one after the other. That was his thing. That was his go-to thing. And drinking the beer and just living the lifestyle. And I think it caught up to him. It caught up to Tammy Downs. And some of it was through social media where I saw this. So, he quit. He had to quit. He had to either stop or it's not gonna be good, Tammy. And I think he kind of just opened his eyes, like, you know what? I want to live. I want to keep doing this. I enjoy it. I need to listen to what they're telling me, and I need to do the right thing. And he has. He looks great. It's cool. I follow his girlfriend on Twitter because I was like, you can follow that site and always get a lot of information of where they're at and what they're doing, because I like to keep up with that. It's like a little build-up to when they're coming to your town, right? And the bass player, Slim Tender, that guy is freaking hilarious. And that's the cool thing about it. In social media these days, you can go viral doing shit like. And this guy, Slim Tender, the bass player from Faster Pussycat, he has 2 younger cats that are playing guitar. So he puts them through the ringer, and he makes them do these videos. And I don't know if he talks them into it or what, but they're hilarious. They're great videos. You know, if you got a chance, or you're on social media, go follow Faster Pussycat on IG, on Twitter, on Facebook. Go check them out. Just being on the road, they put out videos every other day. And there was one that Slim Tender did. I could not stop laughing. That guy is a fucking rock star. He's pure LA, man. I want to party with him one day. Really cool dude. I'll put a video up so you can check it out. Yeah, Slim Tender, he is a golden god. Speaking of spending a week on the road with your favorite band, would you spend a week with Faster Pussycat on the road? That's the guy that I was talking about yesterday or the day before. It was so lit up. He just pummeled over. He was on stage. He was like, out, drunk. So that would be cool to hang out. I mean, even though Tammy's not drinking, you know, the other guys partake, and he's quick. Tammy probably has his own bus, and he's like, you guys go in the party bus in the back. You guys are following in their little entourage. But it's cool to see. It's awesome to see these guys still at it. You know, they are the Hollywood scene. That's the cool part, is watching these guys come out and still rock. And there's some guys that can't do it. I saw some video of Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses being on, I think they're in Europe right now. They were playing a show, and there's some video somebody put out, and Axl Rose was singing, and I was kind of like, whoa. It didn't sound good. I'll put it up right here. Check this out. That's pretty bad. But that's his style. I'm not dissing the guy, but I know we want everything to sound like the way it's recorded, and it didn't happen that way. Things change, the age, everything catches up, things start happening, and you want to rock, and sometimes your body's like, no, I can't do it, dude. I can't be fucking partying for the 20th day in a row. We're drinking beer, drinking Henny, or Crown or Jack. I can't do it anymore. Look what Steven Tyler's at. Rehab. But who knows what Steven Tyler of Aerosmith is in rehab for. I don't know. I haven't kept up with him. I mean, if you know, tweet at me at Johnny Compian. Let me know. I love Aerosmith. And speaking of Aerosmith, there was a picture that was tweeted out, and it had Peter Criss and Joe Perry. So Joe Perry is jamming. I think right now he's jamming with Johnny Depp before the Hollywood Vampires get together again, because Alice Cooper's on the road, and I think they're about to get together again. I think Johnny Depp is playing with Jeff Beck. But anyway, they're all going to get back together and do their thing. But man, I saw this picture. Check Joe Perry out. It's amazing. Like, at first I'm like, oh, man, he looks rough. He looks rough, but good. He's a rock star. I'm like, whoa, what, Joe, what happened, man? Dude, you should have went in there with, and hung out with Steven Tyler for a little bit, rehab, and just. But didn't Joe Perry collapse a couple years ago or a year ago on stage? He went down to one knee. I've done that. I remember being in Vegas, hanging out and partying, and then all of a sudden you're like, in the third day binge, just drinking and just destroying yourself. And all of a sudden it's who knows what time, what day, what place. And you're like, I got to get down on one knee, man. I need a minute. And that's the way Joe Perry is coming across. He looks like he wants to take a knee any moment. Like, okay, I'm going down again, dude. Shit. But I love Aerosmith. A huge fan. That's where it all starts from for me. I love those guys. I love to hear the stories. When Nikki Sixx or any other band comes out and talks about, old stories or vintage stories of Aerosmith, Zeppelin, all the rock, the pure rock that we heard in the beginning. It's cool to hear because times have changed with music, right? Times have changed with music. There's a project that I want to talk about, and this has been going on for a while. The kids from these major rock stars are forming bands, right? You had Scott Weiland's son, do his thing. The guy, bass player for Metallica, Trujillo's sons playing in bands, filling in for Korn, and just amazing things that you're seeing. It's amazing, these offsprings of these major rock stars. And today I ran into that because I know that James Hetfield's son has a band, and they're heavy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of Robert Trujillo's sons is playing with he joined forces with James Hetfield's son's band. So they're morphing into something. It's good to see. God, right? We're losing a lot of musicians, a lot of rock. The music is shifting. Everything is shifting, and it's going into a new era of music. And that's why I talk about Ozzy and talk about, we've lost a lot of great musicians, and times are changing. So when you do hear, the 30th anniversary of Southern Harmony and the Music Companion, you're like, 30 years? Wow. I remember when it first came out, opening that CD pack and putting it in, and, time is flying. So it's good to hear that. It's good to hear good music. Speaking of that, well, I think it's like, what is it? There's a 30th anniversary of Ride the Lightning. I'm not sure if that's the accurate, but I guess it's over 30 of Ride the Lightning. I remember when that came out, seeing Metallica Ride the Lightning with Cliff Burton. That was great. It was like $13.50 to go see this, to go witness it, to go drink beer underage. That's what I was doing, just to go see Metallica Ride the Lightning. Shit, that was a good time. That's what it's all about. So, speaking of, I digress there. Speaking of these offsprings of these great musicians, I heard a song today by Lars Ulrich's son. It's a 2-piece band. Take a listen to this band. I'm going to put the link up on my Twitter page. Follow me at Johnny Compian and see who the band I'm talking. I'm not going to bring it. I want you to go to my Twitter page and check it out. Go and check out this video because you got to watch the whole thing. I can't play it here. They're going to flag me and kick me off or whatever. So follow me on Twitter. Check out this band. It's a 2-piece band. It sounds like it's freaking amazing. It's great. Pure talent, man. Pure talent. Like I said, when I hear something, I'm going to share it with you. You got to go listen to this. Like I told you about that George Lynch. I'm going to put that up on my Twitter page as well. There'll be 2 up there that I want you to hear. There's a project by George Lynch. He came out with a couple young cats that he's doing a project with. And I saw some live footage earlier. Whenever I started kind of, digging in deep and kind of trying to see what this band's all about. But then they're all like standing around the stage and they're doing this live and they're like, and they're asking George something. He's like, they're like, oh, we forgot what we did, and he's like, no. He's like, it's everything that I've done, that we've done with Dawkins, morphed into one. So just follow my lead. Boom. Good to hear. Sounds great. I hope you enjoy it. It'll be on my Twitter page, at Johnny Compian, on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook. Tweet at me. I am me. Just give me some love, man. That's all I want. Just give me some love. Show me some more support. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. You guys are really doing really good. I'm gonna just put this out there really quick. There was one of my videos that I put out last week, and in one day it like broke huge records. It was good. It was, for me, on my scale, this was a huge accomplishment for myself. So go out, support my channel. It helps me out because I want to keep this going. I want to keep having fun and talking about stuff, even though I get buzzed out on my beer and just kind of sit back in the man cave and kind of blab a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate all the support, man. It's really great to get the love. I feel it. It's awesome. I can't wait to keep getting more feedback and hearing from you guys. It's awesome. I got to answer some DMs. People are messaging me, asking me questions. Now it's kind of become one of those things like it's a 24-hour job, man. You got to keep you guys informed and not let you guys down and keep you guys kind of engaged in what I'm doing and what's next. So I really appreciate everything that you guys have done. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up on the flip side. Tweet at me at Johnny Compian on Twitter, and you can also support the podcast show on anchor.fm/Johnny5150.